Church here in town is cleaning up after someone vandalized the property. Life in the City UMC, which is near South Congress, says that last week someone tore down the church's pride flag and spray painted part of the building. Volunteers stopped by today to help clean up the damage.
We want to make certain that our community knows that we care for them, we love them, and we support them. And instead of facing down fear and being afraid, we will face that knowing that we are a resilient people and that we will not face this hatred with anything but love of neighbor.
According to members, this isn't the first time people have targeted the church, but it is the first time they've had to deal with vandalism like this.
The Texas Senate once again voted to ban hemp-derived THC, doubling down on legislation passed in the regular session. That first attempt at a ban was blocked by Governor Greg Abbott's veto. The governor said instead of a ban, lawmakers should find ways to regulate THC products. But Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is still pushing for a full ban. He argues that products with THC currently sold in stores are ending up in the hands of children with harmful consequences. While the Senate carved out a few exceptions not present in the initial bill, the ban is nearly identical to the one passed months ago. The bill's author argued regulating THC is not possible.
Every law enforcement agency in Texas and their representatives have said we cannot enforce this. Regulation is decriminalization. Whether you admit it or not, the practicality of enforcement effectively does decriminalize.
At least one state senator begs to differ. Nathan Johnson is a Democrat who's also running to replace Ken Paxton as Attorney General. Johnson released two bills, one to regulate THC and another to decriminalize small amounts of cannabis and allow people to grow their own plants.
Policy has been a mess, and I've been advocating to clean it up for a long time, partly because of the inconsistency, but because of the enormous destructive force that our THC laws have been on people and families and communities in Texas, particularly, but not exclusively, people of color.
Johnson said he's heard interest in his proposal from Texas House members on both sides of the aisle, but some House members are joining the push for a ban. Republican Representative Gary Vandever filed companion legislation to the ban the Senate just passed. He called it a starting point to inform future decisions by the House.
Are you calling them for a complete redrawing of the congressional map ahead of next year?
Just a very simple redrawing. We pick up 5 seats.
President Trump pushing Texas lawmakers to redraw voting lines to help Republicans get more seats in Congress. The move has Democrats pushing back.
We will continue to do everything we can to fight back against this authoritarian power grab that Donald Trump is doing.
Now we have a plan. Republicans reveal the maps that could change who represents you in Congress. We dig into the differences and what comes next in the battle over Texas voting districts.
Meeting today, the Texas House Select Committee on Congressional Redistricting approved legislation to redraw voting districts for the congressional seats in the state. The committee vote sets the stage for the bill to be considered by Texas House members next week. House Bill 4 calls for redrawing 37 of the 38 congressional districts. President Donald Trump previously called for Texas leaders to redraw maps to gain Republican seats in the 2026 elections. The committee vote came shortly before 9:30 this morning, hours after a lengthy public hearing over the legislation that started yesterday morning. The hearing ended just before 1:30 this morning. The vote to advance the bill was a 12-6 along party lines. The proposed map could be discussed on the House floor as soon as Tuesday next week. And following catastrophic flooding that hit Central Texas almost a month ago, Williamson County EMS wants to buy a new swiftwater rescue boat. Our KXAN's Kevin Bosker explores what the boat is capable of doing and how it could help in future flooding events.
Raging waters in the San Gabriel following heavy rain 4th of July weekend. The water rising so high, many people had to evacuate, and not everyone got out safe.
With the flooding here, our teams tried to rescue at least 3 victims. Unfortunately, 2 of the ones that they tried to rescue didn't make it.
Kevin Krinke with Williamson County EMS says the department doesn't have their own boat, which means they have to borrow other departments' boats during these kind of emergencies.
Us having our own boat, it just allows us to get to some more of these victims quicker and rescue them without having to wait on people.
In their latest meeting, Williamson County commissioners approved applying for a grant from the LCRA, which would allow them to purchase the Zodiac FC420. That's what you're looking at right here. It costs around $21,000.
This boat is a tactical boat. It was made specifically for the Navy.
Mike Goforth is the owner of Triad Marine in the city of Kemah, near Houston. His company is the only one in Texas authorized to sell Zodiac boats.
This boat has what we call intercommunicating valves. When the boat's inflated, we rotate these valves, and that isolates the chambers. So if you were to get a leak in one of the tubes, the boat won't go flat.
The boat can actually be transported in a bag and can be quickly inflated. It weighs about 240 pounds.
If we have this boat rolled up, we already have it on a vehicle, we go. We have an engine, we have a motor in the back of the vehicle. We roll that right up to find a preferable place where we can inflate it right there and put it in.
These features, Krinke agrees, can make all the difference.
Anybody that's ever stranded, we want to be able to get to them. So having the LCRA provide these grants is great for the community and for Williamson County EMS if they approve it.
Kevin Bosker, KXAN News.
Rigging up the boat and purchasing personal protective gear will bring the total cost to around $39,000. Kevin has more on the costs over on KXAN.com. A Central Texas animal shelter now gets to plan a major adoption event where fees will be waived for new pet parents at no cost to the shelter. That's thanks to pop star Kesha. Paws Shelter of Central Texas spent weeks campaigning on social media for votes to win the Tails Out tour shelter contest put on by Kesha and Spot Pet Insurance, which was dedicated to raising awareness and support for animal shelters across the country. Paws ended up winning, and Diane Scott says that the whole thing has been unreal.
This was really cool because, like I said, we got to educate people on how shelters work, and it really brought the community together. Everyone's super excited to come to the actual event, and just knowing that, like, I've always loved Kesha. I'm a millennial, so I've loved her for decades. But knowing that she did this for us is like, and all these other shelters, we each got donated $1,000 from Spot just for the exposure and for participating. And just knowing that Kesha was behind this, and just knowing that she has such a heart for animals, I don't know, it was just a really extraordinary experience.
Well, as the contest winner, Paws will get to host a pet adoption event sponsored by Spot, with all fees waived for pet adopters, not to mention a social media shout out from Kesha. Digital reporter Abigail Jones has more on Paws' big win over on KXAN.com. I know that's what you've been with. And you only have a few more weeks if you're hoping to check out Bring It On, the musical at the Zilker Hillside Theater. The Hillside Theater has been around for decades, offering a unique way to catch a play or musicals as it's on the side of a hill and outside at the park. Bring It On, the musical, kicked off on July 11th and will run Thursday through Sunday until August 16th. The play starting at 8:15 p.m. when it's a little cooler outside, and the best part, it's free.
We have seen it grow as Austin's grown, and people who didn't know about it are coming out because the word has gotten out, and it's free of admission. It's just very uniquely Austin, and there are a few theaters outside of Austin that do this outdoors, but they generally charge admission. We do not charge admission. We rely on generous donations from people.